everybody, it is week 26.
Wow, yep.
I'm not sure how that's happened, but we are where we are, and we have a lot of exciting things to show you this week. It's probably quite echoey in here actually, isn't it? But
it will be.
That's okay.
Probably really echoey, because we have loads of new windows.
Woohoo!
Look at all these windows, all this glass.
They're so nice.
Those are obviously incredibly nice, we're happy with them. But this, I feel like, was an unexpected winner. A last minute idea from Meg. There will be a seat here, but there's so much light that comes in through here.
And it only ended up costing us another, what, £180 to do the extra work? So the window may have been slightly more, but we were always replacing this window. And for the extra sill and faffing around and moving it down, £184 or something, definitely worth it.
Definitely worth it. This mother was hard work. I mean, it's lovely. This trickle vent is on the wrong way round. This is the outside bit and that's the inside bit.
There's some quite funny photos that Miles' sister took of us that were genuinely candid when we realised this has happened, of us just
Meg
stood.
will put up now.
Yeah, I'll put them in now. But Miles' little face cracks me up.
These also will go all the way round. They're sort of held in at the moment as a bit of a safety feature, but we can get that removed and then we'll need to have some sort of stopper on here. But then that means they can open up fully on themselves. Does
anyone know how we can actually get that sorted? So these doors are going to open all the way out. So these will be flush against the other ones. And I thought it was kind of part of what the window company would do, but they haven't. And I need like a hook and a stopper to stop the, especially on this side, the door handle hitting the glass. Has anyone got any tips on what they've done for that? Because I'm going to do some research, but you might have some funky ideas that we can implement here instead. So please let us know in the comments.
While we're at it, shall we show the ugliest thing in the garden? And that's saying something, because look at the state of the garden.
Yeah.
We're complaining about something small. Well, it's not small, it's bloody massive. We have our heat pump now, and it's hideous. I mean, look at the size of the thing.
Miles doesn't understand the size of things.
No, well, I understand when I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, bloody hell, that thing's massive.
See, I knew it would be this big.
I mean, I'm going to get used to it. Meg's going to like paint it and make it look nice, probably.
Let me explain what I'm going to do. So this got installed earlier in the week, which means we now have heating. We aren't installing the radiators just yet because we need to plaster some of the rooms before we do it. But that should be in the next couple of weeks and then we'll have a full-on system. But we, I think, now have hot water. Greg's back on Tuesday. It's a bank holiday weekend this weekend, so he's back on Tuesday, and I think he's just going to test everything and make sure, because we have actually got new bathrooms, which I will show you in a minute. But I was over earlier in the week and we were talking about the base because they had to pour something to put it on, and we decided to make it a bit smaller than it needs to be so that I, at some point in 1 million years' time, can come here and put bricks around the edge. So it will kind of look a little bit more built in, and then we can put, like, I'll probably end up doing like that and then putting like some gravel in there. You'll still be able to see this, but it will be a little bit more intentional, you know?
What do you reckon? Let us know in the comments if you think that we've got enough bricks to do that. I think we're going to be a little bit short. Meg thinks we're going to be okay.
I've also just had a thought that I might paint this, the white bits, and I don't know if I'm allowed, so I'll ask the company to see if it's doable, but I think the white versus the black makes it quite aggressive.
I'm sure we can paint it. The rule is we have to have, is it a metre?
Yeah, we need a metre in front and then about 30 centimetres either side.
Because all this stuff, this is all doing stuff. This is like sucking heat out of the air and things happening here.
The sides.
It needs space.
So you only need a metre at the front and then you need it to be accessible from the side. So our thought is that we could put potted plants on the side of it that can be moved if we need to get into the thing, and over here we'll have steps, so we could do something with that, but we can't like cover it up. I don't know, I'm tempted just to, now I'm thinking about it, just to paint it black. It needs to be the right sort of paint. I've got no idea where to start with that, but not a problem for today. Or I could paint it like funky colours, which I'm actually more up for, but we'll see. Something that we are going to do in the garden at some point in the future is round here, our sauna, God knows when we're getting that, but it's a non-negotiable for Mr. Norway behind the camera. We'll go around here. And then this wall, this retaining wall for our neighbours, I'm going to paint it white to begin with, but then I want to like tile it, which is quite a big job, but it's going to be quite funky, and it's sort of, this part of the garden's always in shade pretty much. So we can grow some bits here, like ferns apparently will be happy here, but if we have the backdrop of something quite funky, it will give us something to tie back to. So I feel that painting this in funky colours wouldn't be that weird. What do you guys reckon? Let us know in the comments what you think.
Right.
Another thing that we are going to try and do soon, who knows when, is paint all these bits white. We're not getting the house re-rendered probably until next year, but at least painting these bits white I think will make it look a lot better, because this before and after is not that sexy of these windows. Much better than the old wood that we had, but not quite the pizzazz that we were hoping for. Anyway, let's go upstairs.
Elsewhere on our magical window tour, in here we have all new windows.
These look so nice.
So we've got the side one and obviously the bays. And they're just nice. They feel good, they look good. Maybe it's just because they're clean, who knows?
Yeah.
We went for pebble grey. Well, it's a little bit green. I really like it. We went for it because it kind of goes with the white. We're going to have black guttering and downpipes and that kind of stuff. So we have white and black, and we thought pebble grey goes well with those two colours. All on imagination, of which I have zero. So I was worried about it, but I'm happy now because they're in and I like them.
We thought about doing anthracite. That was the original plan. But I mocked it up on ChatGPT, and I'll see if I can find it to put it in here. And it looked a bit gothic for the house because it's so white. So we've ended up with this colour, which I'm very pleased with. But there was also an option of baby blue, which I was quite tempted by, but it looked a little bit candy. So I thought, let's not do that. Let's go for something a bit more classic. And I'm very pleased. I think it looks good.
Next on our window tour is the big guy in the hallway, which I like. I think I preferred our old ones, but our old ones were single glazed and falling apart and rubbish. So we needed to upgrade. But I mean, these are nice. They're a hell of a lot easier to open and close than the old ones. And you're still getting loads of light in. You've got a bit of shadow from the house on the side, that side. So, you know, when the light's properly coming through, it should be nice. But I mean, they look great. So I'm not complaining.
We're not going to do a window tour of every window in the house, but they all have been changed except from the curved bays at the front, because we need to do some like, what do you call it? Like restoration on the wood of our window frames, and then we're getting aluminium put into it. So these windows are wooden. Those are going to be aluminium. Bit of a hodgepodge, but they're going to match in colour, so fingers crossed it looks all right. It's quite hard to see, but we actually do have quite a lot of progress in this room. So all of the tiles have now been grouted, and these are grouted with moon white, which is just a slightly off white, which was kind of the vibe. I'll put in the mood board again, just so everyone can see it. This hasn't been siliconed yet, if you can see any little gaps. The silicone actually arrived this morning, so hopefully next week we can get that sorted. But we have our lovely shower. It's all very sexy, like look at this. Ooh, ooh. And just for transparency, the whole bathroom suite was gifted to us by Drench, which was incredible. And we will be working with them in the future, but they haven't asked for me to talk about it now. We have got the loo here, which I don't know. I don't think it's, no, it's not connected yet. That's not a chip, is it? No, that's just dirt. But yeah, we've got a loo, and he's left that on there. So there's our toilet.
I think put that back on there.
Yeah, you're right. And then this is our flush plate, which is, they're all... Something that I found out when I was working with Drench is that Gerberit, which is what our cisterns are, is really reliable. So I don't know if they are, but I was quite worried about getting these cisterns built into the wall because you can't get to them to fix things. So these were the good option. And I mean, I think they look pretty nice too. And then this is my pride and joy. We've got the vanity done. I just need to do the drawers. But if you come down low, you can see that Greg has attached it to the wall with like big L plates, and then has only cut little tiny bits out for exactly where the pipes are going, which is so good. But yeah, I covered this in yacht varnish the other day. Probably not perfect, but pretty good. Again, not siliconed. Lovely, lovely stuff from Drench. I'm so pleased with this. I'm very excited to get our mirror up, and then I need to get the lights ordered, but you know, we'll get there soon. And then, oh, we do have an update on the ensuite. We have chosen new tiles. I have actually ordered these because we were under a time crunch, but we got 1 million samples in. But these are the ones we went with in the end, which are from Claybrook, and they are called the Finelli Carmelo Gloss. And they're quite small, so after all my faffing around trying to find big tiles, I've actually ended up with the smallest tiles I think I could possibly find. So we've gone with this, and we've also gone with sort of browny terracotta-y grout that we went to a lovely shop local to us called Tim's Tiles. Shout out Tim's Tiles. Not paid to say that, it was just a really good shop. They had all the different colour samples for the grout, and yeah, we wanted to make it so it looked like quite blended in. And then on this one, we chose a grey grout because if you look closely, these are already in there, these grout lines. Sometimes these sort of tiles, you can put your own grout on top, but we can't do that on this. It's already like stuck in there, so we had to match those. And yeah, so these are going to be like little soldiers, like that. And yeah, I'm really pleased. I think it's going to look quite moody, but not too dark. I think the black was too dark, and then I was worried about the actual terracotta and quarry tiles because of cleaning them. One of our friends on Instagram, Fee from the cottage at Brunswick, I'm assuming it was Fee that commented, I'm not sure, said that they had terracotta quarry tiles in a shower and it was an absolute nightmare to keep clean because of the watermarks. Obviously showers are annoying as they are, but this is what I've gone with. Don't tell me otherwise because they're coming on Tuesday. And then we'll have our black vanity, and yeah, I think we've got there, which is amazing. Now I can take that off my list. Oh, do you want to go in the loft?
So up here we have what looks like a UFO that's landed. We'll do it live. Only some of you will get that reference.
We've got a spaceship in our loft. I did not expect this to be stood upright. I don't know why, I just assumed it would be on its side. So when I saw this, I was like, whoa, that is very cool. But this is our hot water tank for our heat pump. I'm a bit wary of being up here because it's not very stable, but one day we will insulate this. They have insulated underneath there, ready for it because they had to board that. It's actually kicking out, it's quite warm up here, isn't it? But we need to insulate the rest of the loft because otherwise it makes the heat pump pointless. But that's going to be me and Miles crawling around up here doing that, which I'm not looking forward to.
So if anybody has any advice on boarding lofts, we need to insulate this. And also it's not really built for storage. So I don't know if I show up on camera, but here it's bowing a little bit. And this is above the stairs. You can see along that plank of wood that the pieces of wood in the middle are lower than the pieces of wood on the end. And so you can tell that that's just bowing a little bit. And so we can't use that area as storage unless we reinforce it somehow. And that applies to the whole thing. It's all got very thin planks of wood. So we can only really put storage above walls. And even then the builder aren't really recommending it.
But then the question is, what sort of insulation should we put in? Because that's step one. Insulating, and then we want to board part of it to be able to use this as some storage. As Miles said, we can't put loads up here, but we can in certain areas, like above the back bedrooms, we've got quite a lot of supporting walls there, and like over sort of the bathrooms, I think would be all right. But we need to actually insulate it first because that's the priority. So what insulation should we use? It's going to have to be DIY friendly, has to fit through that loft hatch. But otherwise, yeah, they got that through that loft hatch. Wild.
Yeah.
They did have to take the loft hatch out, but you know, that hole, which is quite impressive. Anyway, let's get out of here. It's a bit grim up here. All right, we're filthy, but we're down back into a nice room again. I can actually breathe.
Well, I mean clean.
Clean is an interesting word. I don't know if we'll ever be clean here for a while. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully in the next few weeks we'll actually be able to move in. We'll be camping here for a bit. The camp kitchen, so we'll see how that goes.
Camping?
Well, we'll have a bed, but we'll need to cook on a camping stove and use a microwave.
We're not sleeping in a tent.
We're not sleeping in a tent. No, we have a bed, so that's fine. But yeah, please let us know if you want to see anything else and want to hear anything from us. But hope you have a great rest of your week, and
like, comment, subscribe, ding the bell. That was my sunglasses. See you next week.